Hello, everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel or my podcast because I record this from my podcast and my YouTube channel at the same time. And I'm sorry to my YouTube subscribers and people who watch my YouTube. It's been a little while since I have done a reading for you guys. I thank you guys so much for your patience and your understanding. You all mean so much to me. And if you are listening from my podcast is quite new. So welcome. And my name is Hilary. I'm a medium psychic. And I read true crime cases using my gifts to study the energy in regards to the case, as well as sometimes I channel the spirit who has crossed over to the other side. And I do this because I think it's important to be a voice and an advocate for people who are victims and could not have their voice heard. It's just part of my purpose here. And like I said, these are from my own gifts. Like, this is my own reading. So these are alleged readings only. They're not, you can take them as you want to. I don't always get things right, but I do try my best to be as respectful to the victims and the people involved and everyone else as much as I can. So this is an Amanda Knox reading. You guys have requested this. Sorry, my subscribers on YouTube have requested this a few times already, and it's a pretty well-known case. A lot of people have questions and speculations in regards to Amanda Knox, and there's so many different things you're going to read out there about her. So this is just what I got from going into her energy during the time that this whole entire thing had taken place, and what I am picking up from her myself. So this is going to be focused on Amanda Knox, and we'll just get right into it. I'm going to read a bit about what had happened first. So Amanda Knox, the Seattle-born study abroad student who spent almost 4 years in Italian prison for the murder of her roommate, Meredith Kercher, is who we're going to be discussing today. So on November 2nd, 2007, 21-year-old British exchange student Meredith Kercher was found dead on the floor of her bedroom in Perugia, Italy. So if you haven't heard this case before and you don't know anything about it, or you're sensitive to details, I suggest that maybe you skip the next 30 seconds or so, because it's going to get into a little bit of detail here. So she was found partially clothed with her throat cut, and she had been sexually assaulted and repeatedly stabbed, and her body was covered with a blanket. So right away, I'm sorry, very detailed, because I'm just getting into what had happened. And like I said, this happened in 2007, so it's an older case, but it's a really sad and tragic one, like all the cases I do. So Knox told police that she had returned to the cottage she shared with Kercher and two other roommates on the morning of November 2nd, having spent the night at her boyfriend Raffaele's apartment. And she noticed several things that seemed unusual. The front door was ajar, and there were specks of dried blood in the sink of the bathroom she shared with Kercher. And she said, quote, "I assumed that perhaps Meredith was having menstrual issues and hadn't cleaned up yet," end quote. And she wrote this in an email to her family and friends. And then she said, quote, "Ew, but nothing to worry about," end quote. So as you can see, there was a lot of strange things and some strange behavior that Amanda Knox had done at the time that made people wonder if she was involved. And some people had accused her of murdering Meredith or being involved. And it's just because she was, she's kind of a strange individual. So this kind of pointed to people that she was the one to do it. But getting back into what had happened, so after she had showered, Knox became alarmed when she found unflushed feces in the toilet of the apartment's other bathroom and left the house immediately. She called her roommate Filomena Romanelli, to tell her that she thought there had been an intruder, and returned to the house shortly afterward with her boyfriend Raphael to look for signs of a break-in. And after they found Kercher's door locked and a smashed window in Filomena's bedroom, they called the local Italy military police force. So the first officers to respond were not actually from the military police force, but they were instead more from the junior postal police, who ultimately broke down Kercher's door and discovered her body. Knox and Raffaele were questioned by police 3 days after the discovery of Kercher's body, okay? And during the integration, Knox made a statement in which she admitted to being in the apartment during the murder and falsely implicated that Patrick Lumumba, the owner of a bar where Knox worked part-time, had been in contact, or she was blaming him, and they both had been in contact with each other on the evening of November 1st, when Lumumba texted her to say that she didn't need to come into work that evening. And I apologize if I'm saying his last name wrong. So Knox and Raffaelli were taken into custody, and in July 2008, Italian prosecutors formally charged them with the murder. So following a lengthy and feverishly publicized trial, both were found guilty in December 2009 and sentenced to more than 20 years each. The third killer is drug dealer Rudy Guide, who was charged at the same time as Knox and Raffaelli, and has been in jail for Kercher's murder since 2008. So I'm not sure if it's Raphael or Raffaelli. I can't remember. This case actually happened when I was, I believe, 20. I was actually pregnant with my oldest at the time. And I do remember some pieces of this case, but not their names very much. So I'm sorry if I am pronouncing them wrong. I pronounce a lot of names wrong. I'm really bad with names. So he admitted that this Rudy guy admitted that he was in Kercher's room on the night of her murder. His DNA was found on and inside Kercher's body and on her purse. His blood-stained fingerprints were found on her bedding. He initially said that Knox was not at the apartment on the night Meredith died and was later changed the story to incriminate her. So this guy, sorry I'm saying this guy because I feel like he doesn't really deserve to have his name said, but Rudy was tried separately from Knox and Raffaelli in a fast-track process and was actually found guilty of murder and sexual assault in 2008. And he's now of Meredith, and he's now serving a 16-year sentence. Okay, so that's just a little bit. There's so much about this, you guys, that you can look up on Google and read online, but I just wanted to get to the basics and the details of what was kind of important. So if I missed anything, definitely let me know in the comments. Okay, so I'm going to get into Amanda's energy at the time of all of this, at the time of Meredith's murder, okay? So right away, the energy I picked up when it happened from her was she was scared, confused, secretive, careless, naive. She had a dislike towards Meredith. She was definitely in love, so she was putting love as a priority, as a lot of young people do in their 20s. She was shocked and disbelief. I picked up some paranoia and a feeling of unsafeness. And also she's got a bit of an attitude as well, but that just comes from what I'm getting anyways, from the energy I'm picking up it just because she was younger. So I picked up that she was scared because she had never had anything that traumatic happen to her in her life. I really picked up on a sheltered and privileged life that she had. And she was scared that whoever did it would also come for her too, is what I was getting. I also picked up that she disassociated at the time because she didn't want to believe it was real. Because this wasn't something that, and a lot of us actually, were used to, right? Murders didn't usually never happened around her. And I feel like this is also what led to some of her strange behavior, is that I was picking up that she didn't really know how to act. And she didn't really believe it was real type of thing. Like, it was kind of like a movie to her is what I'm picking up. And this is why you get the strange behavior that people had said she was doing in the police station and stuff that was caught on the camera. Apparently she was doing yoga and things like that. But I feel like that this was just her way of coping because she was sort of in denial that her friend had been murdered, right? This is very new news. She wasn't exactly sure what had happened exactly when she was in the police station the first time is what I'm getting. And remember, this is all alleged purposes only. This is just what I'm getting psychically in her energy. But I am picking up that she didn't know everything that had happened exactly. She was very confused. But then I got that she was also very nervous about being questioned because she didn't... I'm picking up that she didn't really understand how to speak a lot of Italian. Like, she she knew a little bit of it, but not a lot. So she was nervous because she didn't know how to express herself properly to the police. And also on top of that, I heard the word awkward from my spirit guides. So she was just an awkward person already, and sort of already like a paranoid, nervous person in general. But I am getting that she didn't really know what to say when they told her she was being questioned, because she wasn't even exactly sure what had happened yet. I did also pick up that she didn't really like Meredith very much. And just being young and ignorant at the time, I got this sort of I don't care type of attitude. Not that she didn't care that this was happening or that Meredith was gone. It's almost like she didn't... I feel like maybe they might have gotten into some sort of argument, or they weren't getting along at the time. So she wasn't acting as caring as she should have been. That might sound bad, but I feel like it's just because she didn't even know exactly what had happened. She knew she was gone, but she was still processing all of this, okay? And I also hear from my spirit guides that Amanda thought Meredith was a tease. Not that this matters, not that like this, I'm judging her or anyone's judging her. This is what I'm getting from Amanda's energy, is that she thought that Meredith was like a tease in regards to men. So I don't know if Meredith was flirting with Raphael, or if there's some sort of negative feelings in regards to Meredith and her boyfriend, or something like that I'm picking up in regards to Amanda's energy, okay? So I feel like she just already didn't get along with her, and that it doesn't, not that she didn't care. I'm picking up that she did care. It's just that she was processing it all. This is just a bunch of mixed feelings and emotions I'm getting from her energy, right? Okay, so I picked up that she was paranoid because her and her boyfriend were doing illegal things at the time, like drugs. And she was nervous because she didn't want her reputation to be ruined. I feel like she grew up, like I said, in a very sheltered life, and her parents and the community's opinion from her hometown were really important to her. So I'm getting that the reason why she also acted strangely and her behavior was strange is because she was a little bit worried about herself. So yeah, it is kind of selfish, to be honest, but she didn't want her parents to see the news, is what I'm picking up on, and see that she was getting into, I don't know how they would see this, but just find out because the police were involved in her life, right? That she was doing illegal things. So she was worried about that. And this explains the secretive energy that I was picking up. And she also didn't want her parents to know much about her relationship. So she was kind of, afraid of what her parents would say and their opinions about her and her life. So when I go into her energy during the questioning, when they were questioning her, there is a lot of confusion in her energy, okay? So she didn't understand a lot of what they were saying either. I'm picking up that she didn't get what they were saying. So sometimes she would, because they were speaking in Italian, and sometimes she would respond and wasn't sure if they understood her. And I'm picking up that she couldn't understand why they were so focused on her. And this is what made her feel so unsafe and insecure, because she was like, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. Why are you guys focusing on me when you can be trying to find the person who actually did this? But suddenly her energy becomes more depleted as the questioning process goes on. And I feel like it went on for a long time. Like, she's very exhausted, I feel like, from it. And she becomes so exhausted that I feel like she just sort of starts to give up. And Spirit is telling me that she was losing a lot of sleep during this process because she had so much anxiety and stress. And the whole thing was just extremely stressful for her. And she already felt like everyone was against her. She felt like everyone was pointing the finger at her, which made her feel and believe in a way that she was guilty. She then starts to regret her decisions of being in Italy. She wishes she never went there. I'm picking that up as well because I'm hearing the word homesick. So she's scared. She doesn't know exactly what has happened. I don't know why she didn't know exactly what had happened, or if she just didn't understand what they were saying because she didn't know Italian as good as she could have at that point. I feel like I do pick up that she was trying really hard, though, to understand them. But she became homesick because she just wished that, her family was there with her, or someone was there supporting her. because the only support she really had was Raphael in picking up, and he was obviously being questioned and things too. So she felt very alone. She felt very out of place, and she just wanted it to end, is what I'm picking up, really badly. So I'm getting this desperation in her energy to just end the whole thing. So she kind of got to the point where she would just do anything and say anything to not have to be questioned anymore, which is extremely silly, and in a way it's stupid, right, in my opinion. But she's, coming from someone who's never been through anything like this. She doesn't know much about the law there or what's going on. She's in a strange country. Like, she doesn't understand anything about what's going on. She doesn't understand what they're saying. She's just like, I just want this to end and be over with. And I'm strongly picking up that she admitted to things that she did. Like I said, I can't remember exactly a lot of the details about what had happened. But she admitted to some things, doing some things that she actually didn't do because she didn't understand what they were saying. So she thought they were saying something, and then after she admitted to something, it's almost like I'm seeing in my visions, like, that she would be like, no, wait, like, come back. That's not what I meant. And then they would just sort of ignore her. So, yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of, it's almost like she believed that she was guilty because they made her feel like that. Like, they forced her to believe that she was guilty and she did do this. And, I do feel bad for everyone. I feel bad for her. I feel bad for Meredith. The whole thing is just extremely sad. And I don't understand why she didn't have a lawyer with her, because she should have had a lawyer. She shouldn't have had to say anything, especially because she couldn't speak Italian fluently. So that is what I am getting in regards to her energy of the murder. When I go into her energy now, I get this extremely confident and more relaxed type of Amanda feeling, like energy. I still feel like she feels like people are still pointing the finger at her, because they are. But in her energy, she's really trying to live her life, like, right now, and move on with her life and move on with, the healing process. Because I feel like she still is healing from this. She's definitely done a lot of healing, from what I'm getting from her energy right now, and she's grown up quite a bit, and she understands the whole process obviously way more now, and she regrets a lot of the things that she did and said. But she does feel like, she does wish that she did things differently. But I am picking up that she's innocent. I don't believe she had anything to do with this. It's just not there in her energy at all. So that's what I'm getting, you guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and please subscribe and hit the bell notification if you're on YouTube and you want to see more of my videos, and share as much as you can because that helps my channel grow. And check out my other stuff below. I have a bunch of links down there that you can look at, like my shop. I sell crystals, and I'm a published deck artist, so my decks are on my Etsy shop. And yeah, I will see you guys or talk to you guys in my next episode. Bye, everybody.